This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of that man, and you're listening to Three Black Geeks.
Hey guys, Comic Book Corner is back. Yes, we are back. Last episode, we did Old Man Logan. It was me, LJ, and D. Had to talk about that because I had to get that itch out the way with that book because the Logan movie came out, and it was nigh time to talk about that book because that book was definitely a 180 from what the movie was. So
Now, I haven't been reading that book, but I've been hearing nothing but positive things about it.
Oh no, we were talking about the Mark Millar one, not the better one.
No, yeah. I'm glad. Ew.
Exactly. We ain't talking about the good one. We're talking about the Mark Millar one.
Gross. Why would you waste time with that? Why would you waste megabytes on that, my guy?
Because I had to reminisce on when that book came out. I was one of those guys that was fangasming over it, and then looking back on it, I was like, the fuck were you thinking, Chris?
I just chalk it up to age. As you get older, your taste refines. You realize that book was garbage.
Oh yeah, you start realizing, hey, Mysterio, how did you manage to trick Logan's senses?
I mean, it's little things like that. And what really makes me upset about that is on the overall,
the world was nice, but yeah.
Yeah, the world building was pretty cool, but I didn't like the book in the inception. I didn't like the execution. You lost me at the inbred Hulk babies. I was like, you know what? That's where I'm dropping out. I'm done. I'm deuces. I can't. No. And what was I? Yeah, I generally on the overall, I kind of like Mark Millar. I think Superman Red Sun is a phenomenal fucking book.
Mm-hmm.
I loved his work on The Flash. I'm on the fence about Kick-Ass. I like Kick-Ass when it's striding that line between making a point and just being gore and outrageous for the sake of being gory and outrageous,
Kick-Ass 1 was good, 2 was shaky, 3...
3 was what...
to tell you.
What the shit, it pushed self-parody to the point of, how some satires go so far that they become the thing they're satirizing?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what happened at Kick-Ass 3.
Yeah, it just felt like Kick-Ass 3 was kind of Millar putting that out there. So, hey, movie studios, make it Kick-Ass 3. And I'm like, studios was like, we already did 2 and people weren't feeling it. No,
we're good.
We're good. We're good. Millar.
that's gonna be a nod for me, dog.
I liked his Ultimate. I liked the first Ultimates run. I did enjoy that.
I did like the first Ultimates. I didn't like 2. And 2 again was the thing where I was like, I think you're just being controversial and outrageous to be controversial and outrageous.
This A on this is France. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man.
I'm like, come on, bro. The Iron Man Black Widow sex tape, bro. Come on, dude.
I thought that was 3.
I thought that was 2.
I mean, if it was 2, then yeah. I mean,
wasn't 3 the Captain America's Black Panther thing? Or am I?
3 was a shit. 3 was Loeb's shit show. Okay, this is get that out the way.
Wasn't that when Wolverine watched Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver have sex?
Some shit like that. Yeah.
You know what? The less said about Ultimates 3, the better. Yeah. But back to Millar. Have you read that book he did for Image a while ago? What was it called? Starlight, about the guy who went off to save an alien planet.
Something like that. I think I did.
Yeah, that was really good, and was surprisingly, it was so good to me because I was reading and expecting the Millar shoe to drop. I was like, this can't be what it is on the surface. This can't be the surface story. This can't be it. And when I got to the end and that was it, I was like, wow, you caught me off guard, Mark.
Every once in a while, Mark will tame himself and actually put out something that's like, oh, it's not bad. All right, Mark.
All right. Well played, sir. Well played.
You're teetering on that border here, It's like, all right, cool. So today, I decided to, people love our show and stuff, and I feel I need, with everything else I'm consistent in, but Comic Book Corner, I was like, you know what, I have to step up and be consistent with it because I have ideas and I might as well start actually attacking this. And I decided to kick it off talking about the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger comic because me and Prime have been every once in a while on our episodes talking about the comic in talks and stuff, and we were kept saying, well, at least I kept saying, hey, we're gonna talk about this book when it gets to a stopping point, and we're hitting at what, issue 14, 15?
Something, we're almost at 16 with 16. Another series about to get launched, and so on this special Comic Book Corner Morphin Metacast crossover, can we call it that? Can this be podcast? Can this be podcast Tyson? Can we call it that?
Yeah, we can call it that.
Okay. So we're going to be talking about Boom Studios Power Ranger comics, the rise and utter madness of what's going on in that line. Yeah. But first, let's talk about the announcement of the new series that they're going to have that, as far as I know, is going to be running concurrently with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the quote main title of their franchise.
Yeah, it's called Go-Go Power Rangers.
Yes, Go-Go Power Rangers. And if you give me 1 second, because I made a tweet about it, about the actual synopsis of it. And this is high quality podcast, guys.
It's like, hey guys, you ever want to see the Rangers go through the dating process and what they do in everyday life? That's basically what Go-Go Power Rangers is. It's
basically like it's like they said it's like balancing of being a teenager and being a superhero at the same time. And I read that synopsis and I'm just like, gee, that kind of sounds like what the main title should have been. It also sounds to me what you promised me was going to be the main title. So what you're saying is now is to get the story that was promised to me at the inception of your fucking line is I have to buy a spin-off title, and well as I have to give you money to keep up with the main title because I'm still waiting on that to run its course. So basically what you're saying is you're trying to catch me coming and going. You want all my fucking money. That's what you want.
Yeah, because we're also going to talk about Mighty Morphin Pink too.
We will have words about that.
Actually, no, fuck it. We're going to start with Pink, Mighty Morphin Pink. Well, just the history of it, because we're going to be kind of all over the place, kind of pros and cons and stuff. So, Boom Studios, Mighty Morphin Power Ranger book, right when they announced the movie, which, again, is doing very well. Go see it if you haven't. Go see it again if you have. Trust me, it's well worth your time.
You know what? I can't co-sign that. Go see it twice because I don't feel like.
I just wanted to make all the money. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I want to succeed, but let me back up. Your mileage may vary if you've already seen it. Like if you're like, so let me back it up. I like the movie. Let me say that first of all. I thought the movie was fine, but like I feel like in terms of that movie, and I said it in the episode when we reviewed it on Morphin Metacast, that as much as I love the build up and getting to know the Rangers, and I love like every second of getting to see how these kids think and how they work and how they operate and who they are. Well, I'm sorry, how 3 of them are to the core of their being. How 3 of those kids operate and think. 3 out of 5. That's not bad. It's actually more than I expected from a modern Hollywood movie. Yeah. But when we finally got to the moment when we get to the reason I paid for my ticket, the action scenes, the karate chops and the flipping and explosions, I was left wanting. Yeah, I don't feel, and this is just me, and again, your mileage may vary, but those action scenes weren't worth my price of admission, nor was it worth my wait.
Yeah, we talked about it at Lynn, folks. You can go check out that episode. It was definitely us, hey, we weighed the pros and cons, but like I said, ultimately, we felt it was a good start for this and hope the best for it. Like I said, it still hasn't opened in Japan and China, which I'm if Fast 8 is any indication, they're going to probably eat up Power Rangers like it ain't shit.
Yeah, have you seen the trailers they've been releasing for? Like, they have been advertising hype machine in the movie kind of a little bit.
Oh, Japan's going to eat it up, but let's not get that shit twisted. It's like, they watch those Super Sentai movies over there like it's nothing. So, hey, I basically feel it's going to do it. But when they announced the movie, Boom Studios came in and was like, hey, we're going to do a comic. And I think me and Prime mentioned it on the show that we were kind of happy with that because Power Rangers comics prior to that, I was never a fan of the art style of them. The stories were okay, but I was never a fan of the overly muscular art style. It was just like
the Bandai action figure drawings.
Yeah, it just didn't appeal to me, and it's like it didn't appeal to me enough for me to want to pick it up. So when I saw how they were doing this comic, I was like, all right, cool. As Prime said, we were told that, hey, we're going to, kind of sort of get the day in the life of the Rangers and blah, blah, blah. So what ended up happening with the main book is that it ended up being, which I got to admit, I liked the way the premise started off. It was kind of like, hey, we're going to do this, what happened after agreeing with evil.
And that was awesome. Like, I also liked how it was initially, again, sold to us. We're going to pick up and kind of tell the story in a kind of sort of contemporary setting, but it's still kind of set in 1993-ish, maybe, possibly, even though there are cell phones and RSS feeds, but shut up, don't pay attention to that.
Yeah, and I felt it was good because, like I said, if you look back on the show when we were talking about, first episode, it was amazing to me directly after Green with Evil next episode, hey, they're all buddy friends, and I'm like, so nobody in this team was looking at Tommy sideways like, hey dog, you almost like you whooped my ass the other day.
For 2 weeks straight, Tommy, you beat my ass, so now we're supposed to be out here playing basketball and shit? Nah, son, I'm holding a grudge. Fuck that.
Yeah, and I like the book and how Zach is the one. Zach is one of them that's just like, yo, fuck Tommy, I don't trust him. Jason is kind of like, hey Tommy, fucking follow my damn orders and shit. He's not quite I hate Tommy, but kind of like, hey, follow my orders and we'll see how you go. Everybody else is kind of like, hey, give Tommy a chance. He's cool. So I like that dynamic and stuff. It was cool. It
adds this thing that was kind of missing from the original show, intention and drama.
Yeah,
and I'm drinking that shit up. I think it's très magnifique.
Yeah, and then the book did something. It started off well. Rita's playing mind games with Tommy for a good amount of issues and stuff. While she's also, I would say, beyond the mind games. I mean, to the point that Scorpina is attacking Tommy in his fucking house.
I mean, they went straight hood with it,
and I thought that was cool. It was like, nothing's safe.
All good, nothing sacred. Like, it's all good. It's like, and they were addressing some of the issues that you probably had with the original show. Like, well, why didn't Rita do this? Why didn't Rita do that? Like, they're actually doing that in the comic, and that is so dope.
Yeah, and then the series took a turn. I don't know if you can say turned as more of as it derailed itself, then kept folding in on itself on the heel. Yeah, one of the bad guys that they were facing was called Black Dragon, and they're facing him, and he's literally fucking putting boots to asses to the team and stuff. So during the course of the fight, they end up defeating him, but the team ends up getting split up. Billy and Tommy end up getting somehow dropped into the future somehow, and the other Rangers are back in the present, fighting Rita and kind of picking up the pieces from after their fight with Black Dragon.
And I think you left out one of the parts that I've started taking really main issue with the series was when Black Dragon somehow was able to siphon off their morph energy so they couldn't morph anymore.
Yeah.
But then they used Tommy's coins to... How did the build up go again? Like, they used Tommy's coin to get to reactivate, to re-energize their coins. So now when all they morph, there are no colors. They're all the Green Ranger. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like an 8-year-old's fanfic after watching the first 4 or 5 episodes that Tommy joined the team. Was like, Tommy's the greatest Ranger ever. Tommy can do everything. So now we have nothing but Green Rangers. And I'm like,
it's the inverse opposite of Return of the Green Ranger, because remember the Rangers use their coins to re-energize the Green Ranger powers and stuff. So it felt like an inverse opposite of that, but it's like, look, I love Tommy. I'm glad that Bandai on the toy side have kind of stopped the Tommy circle jerk. Look, I love Jason David Frank. I love the Tommy character and stuff, but I was like, hey, there are other Rangers. Can we give them some shine?
Like, this is a 6-man team.
Yeah, I get it. Like I said, buy the Power Sword when it comes out. So all the Rangers, they're green and they're fighting Rita in the present. So the big reveal in the future is that we find out that and I say this is where I was kind of like, okay, you kind of jumped the shark here because I don't get it. So when they jumped to the future,
or you jumped the Black Dragon.
Yes, they did. They get to the future. Apparently, Tommy's evil in the future. And he has the White and Green Ranger powers combined. Now, I gotta admit, saw the costume, I was like, that's dope. But I was like, if this happened, doesn't that kind of negate him getting his White Ranger powers, and we're supposed to be all in shock and awe that, so...
And so, and that's my thing, the whole reason of the White Ranger was because Tommy couldn't be the Green Ranger anymore because those powers were depleted. Mm-hmm. And the White Coin was created, if I remember my lore right, and I'm pretty sure I do remember my lore right, was because of the imminent threat presented by Lord Zed and the fact that his monsters were stronger than Rita's. So I'm see if I'm quoting Zordon right, where he said that the need of the White Ranger was to be strong enough and to handle Lord Zed's monsters. So if Tommy was still the Green Ranger, okay, so let's wind it back. So in this arsenic realities, let's just from now on just call evil Tommy, was it Draken? So he's gonna call Draken, when he was offered the choice from Jason after fucking up the Sword of Evil, and he said, "Join us, Tommy." Draken said, "Nah, bro, I'm out." And decided I'm gonna side with my Empress and be with Rita. So at that moment when he sided with his Empress Rita, there was no need or no reason or rhyme to create the White Ranger powers. Now, I'm trying to, because it's been a minute since I've read the issue, and no offense to the fine folks at Boom Studios, but I try to ingest those books and not retain as much as possible because it's not been an enjoyable read. But during one of the flashback sequences when they show Draken and Rita storming the command center before they injustice the fuck out of their version of Angel Grove.
Yes.
There was a whole lot of cameos of the last defense of the command center where they had the Alien Rangers, they had the Ninja Zords, Ninja was there. And the Phantom Ranger. I think, the Phantom Ranger was there. Was Blue Centurion there?
Yes, he was.
Okay. And if I'm trying to remember, please bear with me, folks. If you just read this book, don't be yelling at the fucking your MP3 player, your radio. I know it's been in my mind. It's not fresh in my mind. But Jason was left in the command center, and was that at the moment that Zordon was trying to create the White Ranger powers?
Yeah. What ended up happening was Zordon opted to he was going to make Jason the White Ranger, and in the middle of him getting the Saba Saber and stuff, Tommy attacks the command center. Him and Jason have it out. He basically kills Jason, takes the sword for himself, and actually no, he took the coin for himself. He didn't take the sword because Saba ended up going to good Tommy. He took the coin and dipped, and he ended up melding the two together, and that's how we got, Green and White Ranger combined.
Yeah.
And he has Centurions that are based off the other Rangers. Like he has a Black Ranger that they all got M14s that look like the battle axe in blaster mode. The Red Ranger,
Pink Ranger, snipers.
Yeah, which I will admit as much that they look cool in concept and such. I hope people cosplay it. That would be nice.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't mind some action figures of them.
That would be pretty cool. I think the concept is cool, and stuff.
It's the execution.
Yeah, it's just the execution of it. It's like, okay, I get that he would do something like that because that is some fucking psychic warfare right there. Psychic warfare right there. Where it's like, oh shit, Power Rangers. Oh, he's gonna kill me. So I'm fine with that. And there is a resistance, and the resistance is Trini and Future Billy and Zach. So they're part of the resistance, so to speak. So that's happening. Now, just to back it up, we were going to start off with Mighty Morphin Pink. Now, Mighty Morphin Pink is a different beast altogether, because what you have is a book that I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it says fuck continuity. I don't know if you can agree with me, sir, on that one.
It says, I don't know, it says fuck continuity while riding continuity in his back going, hey, remember this? Remember this?
Yeah, it takes place during season 3. Because, the Sword of Power exists, because apparently, I guess, since this is season 3, it's weird because I don't know whether this, clearly Catherine is the Pink Ranger at this point. So the whole purpose of Mighty Morphin Pink, on the other hand, it was basically 6 issues that was building up to the Dear John letter from Zia. And
so,
yeah, go
all right.
Go ahead.
All right. So at its exception, except in Inception. I support what Mighty Morphin Pink is. Like you wanted a solo title with a female ranger. That's cool. That's cool and all. That's something I support. But of all the characters, and I think this speaks to mostly my main problems with Boom Studios and their handling of the Power Ranger license right now. There are so many things. There are so many other female characters who could have gotten a book that could have told a much more interesting, well fleshed out, and better story than we got in Mighty Morphin Pink. That I'm so flabbergasted and vexed. Like, and don't get me wrong, like I like Kimberly, but headlining a book, which obviously like she didn't, because after issue 1, that wasn't her book any fucking more. I don't care what anybody says.
It was literally Kimberly. It was the Kimberly and Zach and Trini book, essentially, basically. It was a here's my outline from a fanfiction.net story that I didn't publish. Let me just make this a comic book. That's what that shit turned into after issue 1. Because issue 1, I give you, was a nice build up. I'm like, okay, this is cool. This is gonna be Kimberly's book. I can kind of dig where this is going. Nope, didn't stay that way. All right, cool. Oh, what's that? The trailer is getting worse. All right, can't believe it's getting worse. Alrighty. So, and I'm like, if you wanted to tell a story about a strong, like I can throw a dart in the Power Ranger lore and hit a more suitable Pink Ranger that would have been better suited for a solo book. Like, how about Jen from Time Force? If you wanted a badass solo Pink Ranger, how about you show her adventures when she was on Earth tracking those fucking Mutorgs before reinforcement from the future, the crossover. That would have been a good 5-issue arc right there, easily.
That shit could have been dope. Or ideally, see me throw another dart. How about Tori from Ninja Storm? She seems to be one of the more competent Rangers from Ninja Storm, even though she's not a Pink Ranger.
Yeah.
She's a Blue Ranger. She could have told her story about what she did between the interims.
Yeah, I mean, you can get Dana from Lightspeed.
Maybe before she got picked up by Sentinel-9 Operation Overdrive, or maybe what happened could have got Dana from Lightspeed Rescue and her adventures with marrying the president.
Look, you know what? You could have got Dana from Lightspeed Rescue before the other Rangers got recruited.
Or shit, you could have told a story during Lost Galaxy with Corone and how she was dealing with going from being an astronomer to a Pink Ranger. Like they touched on that a little bit in the show.
By the way, got revived by tears in her journey up to that point, because that was like, that would have been a pretty good, interesting story to see what Corone was doing, because she ended up on Onyx dressed up as an astronomer, and I'm like, how the hell did you get to that point?
That's what I'm saying. Or maybe you could have told her, you could have had a really good, like, psychological, like, what cost were you willing to go through to get redemption? Like, that could have been a really good 5-issue arc with Corone. Like, how far are you willing to push yourself for redemption, and how much of yourself are you willing to give up to that cause? And at that point, are you still yourself? Like, you can really tackle some fucking questions about that. What's that? No, we got to get that Mighty Morphin Power Ranger nostalgia money, bruh. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean,
shut up.
And like, on its own as Pink, like I said, I read through it. I didn't hate it. It was just like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. It led up to the the whole letter and stuff like that.
I thought it was garbage.
Hey, I get it. It's just, for me, I was fine with it. It's just one of those, like, that happened, and let's move past Mighty Morphin at this point, because it's like the letter, her building up to that letter, it was essentially Boom trying to assert some independence for Kimberly, that she's more than just, she's Tommy's girlfriend, and I get that. That's fine, but it's like, did we need 6 issues? Could have just been 5 issues. Keep it straight to the point.
Could have been 3.
Hey, I'm being nice. I'm saying 5.
It could have been 3. But then I know 3 doesn't support a trade paperback, but you could have been 3 and maybe 1 or 2 one-shots. But see, my thing with that is, like, when you said that's Boom asserting their own authority, what they want to do, like, I feel like Boom is trying to serve 2 masters here, where, like, they want that. It feels like they want to tell their own stories in their own separate Boom continuity, but they also want to get that nostalgia dollar. So they keep doing, like, these little Easter eggs and these little callbacks. Like, in that scene when they were doing the last stand in the command center, when they're showing how Lord Draken took the white power coin and blew up the powers and all that shit. Like, I should be hyped up at a moment that showed all that foreshadowing. But, like, I'm like, if you're gonna show all that foreshadowing, like, if you're trying to get me hyped up for that shit, like, it's not working, because you're stuck in the Mighty Morphin Dino era, and you're like, And it's like you want to go, oh, we got to show all these different toys. We got to show, oh, look, there's a Ninja Zords. Look, there's the Phantom Ranger. I'm like, if you want to show me them, how about you just tell me a story with them instead? Like, I don't want to just see teasers. Like, you're wasting everyone's time involved. Like, I feel like just doing that for the sake of doing it, it really is a waste of all of our times involved. Like, you're wasting my time as a reader, and you're wasting your time as a creative input by saying, look at these cool Easter eggs. They're not that fucking cool because this isn't like a comic book movie, you know, where it's its own alternate telling or a derivative or a different version telling where you can, you know, see alternative takes of things. Like, because I'm saying, I feel like Boom is confused about what they want to do with the license of the line. Like, do they want to tell their own stories, or do they want to fit somewhere in a nebulous version of the series continuity? And those Easter eggs can't be serving, you know, two masters. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's okay. So, Mighty Morphin Pink is the whole crux of it is essentially, it's kind of like the main thing where there's a lot of fan service. So Pink has Kimberly. She's, you know, coming at the tail end of the Pan Global Olympics and such. She's in France, and
Sacre Bleu.
Yeah, you know, she's chilling there, and she's in the village, and the village kind of gets quiet all of a sudden. And more or less, you find out that Godar is working alongside this creature named Verto, who's basically kind of like what's his face from Inhumans, the what's his face, that water dude,
Triton.
Yeah, he's basically like Triton. He's a water monster. But the thing of it is, Verto, he has the ability to transform regular people into the creatures that look just like him. And him and Godar are working together to kind of like, you know, show Rita and Zed that, hey, you know, I'm good, I'm better. You gotta give me, you know, kind of a. He kind of wants to sit there, and he's just tired of basically. So Godar is basically tired of being in the shadow of Zed and Rita. Obviously, if you read the one shot that came out too, read that, because you find out Godar has a brother, and his brother basically mouthed off to Zed and got killed for his troubles. And I thought it was interesting because Zed basically was like, he told both of them, hey, I need you to go help out Rita. And Godar's brother was like, why? This is bullshit. And Zed was like, oh, really? And kills him. And then looks at Godar like, so you want to mouth off, or you going to help Rita?
And Godar was like, no, sir. Remember, want me to shine your shoes for you, sir? I'm out, door. Talent your boy, boss.
I'll take my brother's sword, and I'll go help Rita. Bye.
You ain't got to tell me twice.
Exactly. Zed was basically like Debo, where he's like, you want some of me, old man? And Godar's like, no.
I would not like that, sir. No, I'm good. I'll decline.
So, in Pink, Godar basically is working independently of him, and the whole book is, you know, basically Kim and her
being a really ineffective leader.
Yeah, you know, she started off, you know, she immediately gets in contact with Zordon and tells him of what's happening and stuff, and Zordon grants her temporary pink powers, which she has a very interesting costume. I'll just say that. It's interesting for what it is.
That's nice. You're a kinder person than me, sir.
Dude, you know me. I'm just gonna say it's interesting. I question the aesthetics of how it looks.
I would say that's a take. That's a stylistic choice that they went with. Not necessarily a stylistic choice that I would have gone with myself.
Oh, no, definitely. You know, clearly Kimberly can't do it by herself, so she ends up recruiting Zach and Trini, and we found out...
And when she asked about Jason, Zordon was like, oh, he's doing something else for me. Like, really? Really?
So
okay.
I'm kind of curious about that book and seeing what he was doing.
So I'm waiting on Mighty Morphin Red.
Yeah. We found out, and this is another thing that this was like my first thing. So Zach and Trini are a couple.
Sure. Again, this is the only thing that Boom, like, they want to do their own thing, because there was certainly no hints of that in, like, any media ever, unless I'm just oblivious and I don't understand human interaction.
I mean, last I checked, it was Billy and Trini that had more of a connection.
Yeah, and I'm kind of salty because they sunk my ship hard as hell.
I think we all, even as kids, were looking at that relationship like, something's going to happen, and it didn't happen.
Because I was like, Billy, shoot the J. Billy, what are you doing? They were like, what are you doing? Oh, you getting that alien pussy? Okay, that's cool. Go on, my guy.
I'm pretty sure if Trini and Zach and Jason, you know, in real life didn't have to, go through Saban's treachery of paying them cheap, labor and stuff, we probably would have had that happen. So,
And you know what? I can't decry. You know what? I know we talked about this on Mighty Morphin Metacast, and I can't really be mad at JDF, David Yosh, and Amy Jo for like not backing their guy, because I'm like, look, man, this is steady work. Shut the fuck up. Don't rock the boat.
Hey,
I don't care. I'm paying my lights. I'm paying my light bill.
Hey, but you know what? I get why Walter Jones and them did it, because they're like, hey, I feel we should get paid more, because hey,
and I agree with them. Like, that's why I'm like, I feel so weird in this situation, because I understand where both sides come from, especially JDF, who had just got back on the show, and he's like, bruh,
I need to stay on as long as I can. Please.
Dude, they just wrote me back on, dude. Don't do this to me, homie.
I think at that time he just hooked up with his wife around that time too.
But he definitely need the paycheck then. Come on, dude.
I don't know if he had a kid yet, but I remember right around that time he made People's magazines, like, the most beautiful person and shit. And I think I remember reading, like, he wasn't married. That's what it was. His girlfriend / his wife at the time, and stuff. And he was talking about that, and I was like, oh yeah, he definitely needed the money, because that looked like he was about ready to, hook it up and get a ring on her and shit. So yeah, I get it. Understandable.
I'm like I said, I ain't mad at him. Although I really want to see that alternate reality. What would have happened if they stood all together and stood united?
Saban would have been like, well, there's a door. There's a door, dog.
There y'all go. All right, so get them Dire Ranger suits. Let's go.
Let's go. Season 3. Let's go.
Dust off that dragon costume. We good, bruh.
Y'all good? The ADR good? All right, cool. We're gonna fucking audible this shit right now.
Let's audible this shit. We finna dubstep this motherfucker. What you don't know?
Oh man, but so Trini and Zach are a thing, and it's kind of one of those like, okay, fine. They get new outfits, and I mean Zach's was pretty cool. Got the hoodie and stuff, even though it kind of felt like something that I would cosplay as.
I mean, I think you just hit the nail on the head of why I have such an issue with those designs. Like, it doesn't seem like, and again, I know we've talked about how I feel about costume choices on Morphin Metacast, especially costume choices for Toku characters.
Yeah.
And I mean, the idea and the concept of redesigning them, I think it's a good idea to maybe redesign it to differentiate them from the main costumes.
Yeah.
But like, it strikes me like you said, like a cosplayer going, my too cool for school version of Power Ranger costume. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the Power Ranger costume is kind of whack, so I'm going to improve it by putting a hoodie on it. Nah, son, that's not how any of this works. No.
It really did. It's like, hey, here's the street version of the Black Ranger costume. It's like, all right, cool. It's
like, and so why is Zach going with a hoodie? What the fuck you trying to say?
It's like I said again, like you said, it's like they're trying to do differentiations. Even the 2 French people that joined up with them, because hey, you gotta have 5 Rangers and stuff. They have kind of like different costumes.
Yeah, you have to have 5 Rangers in the Mighty Morphin Pink solo book.
Yeah, and it's like, so yeah. And I mean, look, there was some. What
happened to that?
There was some cool scenes. Like I said, there were some cool scenes. Her on the motorcycle. I thought that was actually pretty dope and stuff. But like, I think right around issue 2, I was like, okay, so what's the end game with this book besides the letter? Because I already knew from issue 1 where they were going with it. Because as soon as it was like, oh, Pan Global, I'm like, this looks like this is going to probably lead towards the letter. But what's the other end game to this? And it just, what you end up having is
the other end game was confirming the ship that made a lot of fans fucking mad. And I'm not talking about Zack and Trini. I'm talking about who she wrote the Dear John letter for. The reason why she wrote the Dear John letter.
Yeah.
Because he sent her a fucking text message at the end of the book, and I'm just like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Don't support Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. Why are you reinforcing that? I said this is a joke. Don't listen to me. Why don't do that? What? Yeah. Oh no, baby. What is you doing? What is you doing?
And that's on top of, we found out that Godar, and I gotta be honest with you, I thought this was a cool concept, and it kind of sort of makes sense. Godar apparently took pieces of the Thunder Megazords that got destroyed going into season 3, and he made his own kind of like Frankenstein Megazord.
And for some reason the Firebird was whole?
Yeah, it's like, okay. Like I'm looking at Godar, so you just built that behind Zed and Rita's back and they didn't notice?
And like in the Power, Zordon didn't notice? Zordon was like, hey, first of all, you guys didn't collect that shit. Like you just left all those destroyed pieces and was like, well, we're gonna go find Ninjor pieces. Thanks for all the fights, guys.
Deuces. Done.
Holla at you. And then just Goldar came up with like a dustpan and was like, I just take this right arm and this leg and, the head, the belt from this.
Hey, we said it as much on SPD that it was nice that they had that scene where they were doing cleanup and stuff. That made sense. I was like, can we get that in MMPR? Like, did Zordon have like a robot cleanup crew here? No.
That's what I'm saying. See, that's my thing. Like, in my headcanon, my own personal headcanon, is like, I always felt like the U.S. government or like government agencies were collecting the leftover scraps from Zords and shit, and that's how we got Lightspeed Rescue.
Yeah.
Because that's how they tapped to the Morphin Grid, and it was like, oh, yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
They just leave all this shit lying around when they get new ones.
Mm-hmm. I mean, shit, it's... And the thing about it is, she ends up helping Godar and such when he's trying, because, clearly the bad guy he's helping betrays him. So, she ends up helping Godar because she's like, hey, Godar, you help me out, I help you out. Friend of my friend, enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of deal. And predictably enough, as soon as Godar, they get out the cave and stuff, Godar is like, deuces, I'm out. You're on your own. Have fun. And the second part that threw me off, so they end up going to help out the other Rangers on another planet.
Who were fighting Serpent Terror, I believe?
Yeah, and somehow they don't let on.
For a reason? Because wouldn't he completely fucked up after season 2?
Yeah, unless he kind of...
Unless
Zed revived him? Unless Zed revived him?
Unless this was the story where he gets fucked up where Zed can't use him anymore?
Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah, and the thing of it is, they don't... Okay, so here's where it was confusing to me. Okay, so Kimberly is helping them, but she doesn't let on to them that she's the one that's helping them.
And that's the thing that got me like, so at the end when they got back, was like, hey, what happened to that other group of Power Rangers who kind of sort of look like us, except that they went to Hot Topic first before they stopped off at the fight. Where the fuck did they go, Zordon? What did Zordon do? Well, gee, Tommy, I don't know. Maybe you'll see them again. Yeah, Zordon is a massive cock. Oh, he's a massive penis. I don't care what anyone says.
Like, I don't know what you're talking about, Tommy. I'm a 35-year-old white man.
There were no other Power Rangers. What? It was just you guys. What? Flashy thing. Get him out here, Alpha.
It's like, so Zordon, you're going to explain why there was a Zord that was like my white tiger with the Firebird and the Thunder Megazord?
It's the Morphin Grid. I ain't got to explain shit.
It's like, all right, Zordon, you're cool. Gotcha. I mean, And it speaks to what Pink is, where it's just like, it's leading up to this, to the letter. You want to explain to him what this letter encompasses here? Like, the rationale and reason here?
Do I have to do the Dear John letter again?
Yeah, you have to.
This is the reason I have trust issues. So for those of you who don't know, at the end of Mighty Morphin, and the end of Power Rangers Zeo, Kimberly wrote Tommy, wait a second. Was it Zeo? Yes, it was Zeo.
Yeah, it was very much Zeo.
So why was she writing it in the Mighty Morphin Power? Hold on, so now I got my timelines all fucked up. Wait a minute.
This book got its timelines messed up. It ain't us.
Wait a minute. I just realized that letter was delivered to him in Zeo, so he got depressed, and that's when he started dating Caitlin from VR Troopers, because Kat was being super bro, being the super wingman, even though she was still hungry for the Tommy Hios.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was during Zeo. Because was it No Business Like Snow Business?
Yeah,
was that
No
the two
Business
parts?
Like Snow Business, yeah.
Motherfucker, I didn't even realize that till just now.
Yeah, that's what I said. The book really, it's like, it's leading to this letter, but it's like, hold up though, like, this doesn't make any sense.
Like, your timelines are ruined. So then also she got the text, so she wrote the Dear John. Okay, so let me wind it back. Let me reel it in. So the Dear John letter that the fans talk about is the letter that Kimberly sent to Tommy saying, you know what, Tommy, we had fun together. You were a good guy. I hope we can remain friends, but I found somebody new. He makes me feel special, makes me feel wonderful. I hope you don't hate me for this. Blase, blase, blase. And maybe we can stay in contact. And she had that shit delivered to the juice bar, addressed to Tommy, knowing that he hadn't heard from her in a while. They was going to open that letter amongst all his friends and peers and read that shit out loud, to which he did, and was fucking destroyed. So, in that two-parter, Catherine, who since her first appearance has been lusting, I'm talking about anime girl style lusting after Tommy, was like, I gotta make Senpai feel better, so let me get his mind off his girl that dumped him, and maybe he can hook up with Kohai. So, then they go on a ski trip, but then Tommy meets Caitlin, not Caitlin from VR Troopers, capital not Caitlin from VR Troopers, and they hook it up, and so, there's that whole subplot. But back to this comic, and why we brought that up, so she wrote that Cinderella to Tommy because after her adventure in France, she feels a little more independent and doesn't need to be defined by a man. But then she immediately gets a text message from Jason and was like, hey babe, it was basically like, hey babe, where you at? Oh, hold on, I'm coming, KK. Really? Okay.
Yeah, sure. I mean, and the thing of it is, the ending for it, yeah, they jump 1 year later, but still, it's like, so you jump 1 year later, and then you write the Dear John letter. So in 1 year, Zeo happened.
Sure. Okay, Boom Studios.
I mean, look, even the show, I was just kind of curious. So season 3 was just a year. Then that's the case. I mean,
again, no, not really, because wasn't season 3, because it was Catherine was the Pink Ranger, and they had the Ninja Zords and all that shit.
Yeah,
and so,
which I got to be honest with you, the Frankenstein Zord and the Ninja Megazord fighting Serpentera, I gotta admit, that fight was more of a letdown than the fucking Forever Red one. Yeah. And no offense to Serpentera, but homeboy, there's no way in hell you gonna be fighting the Ninja Mega Falcon Zord. I'm just saying. Look. If you want true terror of Serpentera, buy the Die Ranger DVD and just watch the ridiculousness of destruction power of Serpentera in that fucking show. Again,
support Shack Factory because they're doing the Lord's work, or they're doing Zordon's work over there.
Buy Car Ranger,
and please buy Car Ranger. If you don't buy any other Shout Factory Sentai DVD, fucking buy Car Ranger.
I mean, Mega Ranger's coming out anyways, but buy Car Ranger.
Buy Car Ranger because Car Ranger is amazing. If you don't buy Jew Ranger, if you don't buy Die Ranger, or you don't buy none of them other shows, buy Car Ranger because Car Ranger is fucking hilarious. It's a fantastic, amazing show. But anyway, back to Die Ranger, which I'm watching now or rewatching on the Shot Factor DVDs, and I have to say, just as a side note, the stunt work in Die Ranger is so fucking amazing. It's so fucking good.
It is.
I was sitting and watching the episode because, the story. Let me be honest with you, the story's kind of nonsense. It's kind of blasé, kind of blah blah, whatever.
I'm just there. I'm there for the fights and the monsters more.
Yeah, so I'm watching the show and I'm watching the first episode or 2 episodes. And I'm like, wait a minute. So why do we all like Die Ranger again? And the Die Rangers break out those fucking pole arms and start beating the shit out of their mooks. And I was like, oh wait, that's why we like this show.
Oh man!
Oh my god,
man. That's what makes me wish season 2 gave us those suits. But hey, I get it. People still attached to Mighty Morphin. Get it.
And that's why we talking these comic books that are stuck in molasses and aren't going anywhere at the moment.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Pink. Just getting back to that is she, that fight was just I'm expecting some epic 3 pages of fights, and then it was just that was anticlimactic.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So how do you feel about the character they introduced who ultimately became the Blue Ranger, that traitorous French guy? Who, by the way, when he became the Blue Ranger, I laughed because I'm like, of course he doesn't get to become red because he betrayed the team, but naturally because he become blue because blue is the color of cowardice.
Yeah, I didn't have much to really elaborate on with those characters other than they exist as characters
to wear color.
Yeah, to wear the color, and that's about
worse.
it.
Yeah, worse than fucking Rocky, because at least Rocky got a pachinko episode.
I mean, Rocky again, he was the lovable loser. Let's just leave it at that. But
the Red Ranger meat suit is what I call him all forever and always. The actor Steve, you're a wonderful human being. You're a great guy. Rocky, a fucking meat suit.
Yeah, and in this comic, it's just the blue and Homeboy that becomes red. They exist. It's just because, hey, we need extra bodies and stuff. And it was kind of interesting how Kim was like, I'm going to keep in contact with you guys. But it's but you just, okay, fine. I get it. You want to keep the friendship there. Sergey, that's what it is.
Yeah, so you want to keep them in case we want to pop
and Britt.
up. Yeah, because they want to pop back up in another solo cam adventure. And my thing is, like, what a waste of the first African American Red Ranger, female Red Ranger we got in the book, who was in the comic book for a couple of panels and got to do jack all shit and wasn't even, you know what? Let me not even get on that shit.
And like I said, it's Sergey and Britt as characters. They didn't really serve a purpose of the story. So it was like, damn, like these characters have potential to even just give us something of a characterization of it. We didn't even get that. So it's just like, so it's just overall, I get that with Mighty Morphin Pink, they were trying to essentially be like, oh, hey guys, we want to make Kim have a more of a, hey, I want to be more of an independent woman. And not just Tommy's girlfriend. And Tommy's still a ranger. He's active. And I think if I'm just there, I'll just be a hindrance. So I want to be my own person, which is, again, fine. But did we really need 6 issues to really get to that point,
I feel like a lot of the Boom Studio work is like a lot of wasted potential. Because I feel like there's a lot of really innovative and cool things you could be doing with the Power Ranger license as in the comic book medium that were not being offered or given or even shown a glimpse of what could be. Because again, I feel like they really are serving 2 masters. And not even just that. I feel like at some point, like that was the goal. That was their hindsight. That's what they wanted to do. Mm-hmm. But then they started seeing when they released those 2,500,000 variant covers for issue 1, and they got all that Mighty Morphin Power Ranger nostalgia dollar, and with the riding off the hype train of the movie coming out, they're like, let's just ride this wave.
And that's what we got. It's just a very wave ridery 6 issues, and you get, I'm not even gonna say guess. You can pretty much say it's forgettable. If you want to read it, fine. I mean, hey, some people liked it. I was very much in the middle where it's like I enjoyed aspects of it, but I was ultimately, again, the end game was just that damn letter.
Basically. And to piss off the Tommy shippers and to support my stupid fan theory from Turbo Power Rangers movies. Fuck you, it was just a joke. You didn't have to make it real. I'll hate you forever for this.
And they did.
I'll never forgive you for this shit.
Oh, man. But switching gears and going to the main storyline, like I said, my positives was just I enjoyed what the book was starting out with and stuff.
Oh, those first few issues were like really good.
Oh, I mean, between like I said, Rita doing the mind fuck with Tommy and stuff, and Tommy having inner conflict with the team. Like I think the first issue, when Rita was fucking with him and stuff, he destroyed a bridge when they were fighting a monster, and Jason got in his ass, and they were butting heads, and I was like, ooh, yes, let's see this. Let's go.
Like, this is what I want. This is what I gave you my money for. I'm loving it. And then the comic book got up its own ass. And yeah. I think it feels like it thinks the story that it's telling is so interesting and so innovative, and I'm like, homie, it's not. It's actually quite boring and droll.
It's sort of, but again, like I told you, and I'm telling a lot of people, I'm like, yo, wrap this shit up, B. Wrap it up.
Right, do it now.
I'm like, 16 issues, and 3 of the issues, it felt like it was spinning in its wheels to give you fan service, because like you said, we're getting these issues where they were showing how did we get to this future, and we're seeing all this fan service with the, hey guys, Ninja Megazord, the Phantom Ranger, and all this, and it's like...
And I'm like, if you want to show me them, how about you just show me them? How about that? Because like, it isn't like I don't know where these characters are going, because if you are doing what I think you're doing, you're going to strictly kind of adhere to the TV continuity. We know these characters' progressions. Like, the cover of the issue that showed Tommy in green holding Saba up in the air, I'm like, this is such bullshit, because if you want to show Tommy as the White Ranger, then how about you do what I thought your initial idea was going to be, and just tell a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger anthology series, that jumps around the fucking timeline. Then you can have an arc with Tommy as the White Ranger. Then you can have an arc where you show them using the Ninja Megazord. Maybe do that. Maybe do like a Power Ranger Generations where you just show. And
that's the thing, because it's just like, okay, we're getting this future, and it's like, okay, so you're showing Tommy all these things. So again, if this is taking place during a continuity of MMPR Season 1, Tommy already knows he's going to become the White Ranger then.
Well, I think that unless they're gonna do some mind wipery alteration shit, I think it was kind of said in an offhand comment like this isn't the future, but it's a parallel timeline because because they said that at the moment at the end of Green with Evil when he was offered the choice, instead of saying yes he'll join, he said no I won't. So this is an alternate universe. So it's an alternate universe that's bled into the Boom Studios quasi continuity.
Yeah.
And again, like I don't have an issue with it because of the tone, because I really like I really don't mind a serious take about Power Rangers. But my thing is people I'm seeing people on YouTube and other comic book reviewers going, "Oh, this is a really serious take on the concept of Power Rangers," and I'm like, "No, it's not. No, it is not. Like this is even."
It's serious enough, but it's not this uber gritty shit that they think it is.
I'm like, I don't even think it's that serious. I actually think it's pretty pedantic. It's pretty pedestrian.
It's like, you know what? That's it. I'm not gonna knock the writers, but it does feel like fan fiction-y.
Like I said, it's that use over outline that they didn't post on fanfiction.net saying, and it's just like without any fleshing out, it was just a whole bunch of ideas I think that was thrown at the board. Then they said, wouldn't it be cool if, and they took all those wouldn't it be cool if, ideas and just started stapling them and cutting them and pasting them into a comic book without any real thought to, narrative cohesion or character dynamic and interaction.
Yeah. I mean, I had a question for you though. Going back to Mighty Morphin Pink, how did you like the art?
Of all my issues with these comic books, the art is not one of them.
So you did enjoy the art. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, the art is fine. The art is fine.
Okay.
It does that thing where and a lot of things. It does that thing I really like that's done, in manga and talked about in Understanding Comic Books by Scott McCloud.
Yeah.
I wish more contemporary American comic book companies would do, where it talks about the importance of if something. Like, everything doesn't need to look hyper detailed all the fucking time. Mm-hmm. Like, that's too many pen strokes. That's too much. It really doesn't. Unless something is, like, being looked at from a character's point of view, or you need to draw attention, the reader's eyes to something. So, for example, like, I'm going to use this as an example. So, like, if there was a field of swords, right? Mm-hmm. They're really, like, from an artistic standpoint, unless you just have that time, and, a lot of comic book artists, they don't have that time to draw every detailed curve of the sword and every helm and make all that shit detail. Like, it doesn't have to really look all that detail unless you want to draw your reader's eye to the sword that the characters are there to pick up into the sword of field. So that should be the most detailed sword. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And or when the character picks up a sword in the field, then suddenly you can see them when you look at the character's point of view shot, then the sword can be extremely detailed and fine lined and layered and all of that. And I really like how the comic book handled those moments where it does perspective about what's detailed and what's not, and what do you draw your eye to in a shot or a frame. Yeah. Like, especially in that sequence when they're trapped in the body of the Frankenstein Thunder Megazord.
Yeah.
There were like a lot of moments like that I really liked. There's a lot of things that I really applaud about, manga art, and I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know if this is intentional. Was that an intentional thing because it's a franchise born from a Japanese franchise, or was it just like the writer just doing the intelligent thing of knowing where and when to focus their art?
Yeah. I mean, what's funny? Again, even though it was a very fan servicey part and such, I did enjoy when they were doing the flashbacks to like how Tommy, when he was given that choice and they were showing all that and stuff. The detail that I enjoyed was that splash page where we see the Zords and the Thunder Zords in the background, and Tor and the Tiger Zord and all that stuff on one side, and then we get the freaking Loki head and Tommy and all that. I actually did like that splash page. Big time.
I like it. I like the idea of it, but it's just the execution. Like that shit is not earned. You didn't earn that.
I know they didn't earn it, but I was just saying in terms of the art and what it looked like, I was like, yo, that shit looks dope as hell, but you could tell it's like ridiculously fan servicey like shit.
I'm like, you just stop giving me a reach around and just tell your story. I'm not ready to shoot my load because you haven't earned my load yet.
Oh, reach around is such an understatement, man. Man, listen. Everybody on Twitter lost their shit when they saw that panel. I was like, yo, like, yeah, I can see how people love it and such. I mean, even to the part where you see Jason when he was in the middle of getting the White Ranger powers, and you see Tommy basically pull the "Hey, Kool-Aid," and
You mean his dynamic entry?
Yeah, his dynamic entry where he was like, "Surprise, bitches," and him and Tommy.
Like, remember when I did this shit in the Megazord? Oh, I bet you do. I still got them moves like Swagger.
Dog, that is, to this day, that will forever be the most iconic shit ever.
It's easily in like the top 5. It has to be.
It's like, surprise. Long live Empress Rita. Bam. It's like, well, that escalated quickly.
Give me your shit. Okay, so I'm looking at the splash page now. That is a dope fucking splash page. It's very fan wankery.
Oh yeah, and I will not deny that shit. It is.
I don't see Blue Centurion in this shot, and I mean it's the last stand of the command center. That's dope. Maybe
the pump. Here's the wild part about it, right? The next splash panel has the pumpkin rapper. I'm like, I'm supposed to believe the pumpkin rapper is like a feasible villain here. Like, you couldn't get Cyclopics, that robot. You couldn't get that.
Yeah, and then on top of that, so I'm sitting here looking at the damn splash panel, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the page leading up to it too, and I question some of the fan wank shit that they do. Like, okay, so for example, like in the newest couple of issues where Rita makes an army of clone Godars, right?
Yeah.
And they all look exactly like Godar. And I'm like, you had a perfect opportunity here to use the model of Neo Gryffindor from the Q-Ranger versus Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah. That's
basically like an upgraded Godar. Like, if you really wanted some fan wankery, some really decent fan wankery, you could have had all the clone troopers look like that dude. And that would have had everyone blow their shit and blow their load.
Yeah.
Even me with my blue balling ass, I would have been like, okay, I'll bust one to that.
Yeah. I mean,
but then they didn't. They just have them all look like extremely tall Godars. Didn't have Godar kind of look like a manlet. Like, really?
Yeah. It was generic, and it could have really shot for the stars. Because, like I said, when you get that splash panel of Lord Draken and you see it's basically the amalgam of the White Ranger powers mixed with green, it's like, oh, that's a dope design. It's very dope.
Well, that's a really interesting idea. Did you think that idea through, though?
Yeah, and it's like with Godar, it's like you could have kind of innovated a little bit if you're going to give us clones of them.
But you didn't? Okay. And another thing, it's a small thing. It's a small thing, and again, because I'm so seeped in this shit, like, if you know me or you follow me on Twitter, you know, like, 98% of my DNA is tokusatsu shit.
Yeah.
So I really don't like their character model for Finster because it looks like to me, I think they're basing his character model on the toy, and the toy is so ridiculously off model because like it makes Finster look like a dog, and Finster is not based on a dog. Finster is based on like a wood elf.
Yeah,
and
it's an elf. Period. That's how I got it.
Yeah, and I mean, I know it's a very small thing. I know in the grand scheme of issues this comic book has. But, like, it's stuff like that. It's like fan wankery without, like, research. You know what I'm saying? Or research or a thought of execution. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it thinks, like, this is what the fans want. I think that kind of, to me, encapsulated a lot of my issues with the series overall.
Yeah. I mean, and... yeah, it's interesting. The last issue... yeah, basically, Tommy says, I give up. And I'm like... That's it. The great Tommy doesn't have a fight with Lord Draken. That's
and not just that. So in the future thing, they also had to keep Billy's coin secret because Billy is the Triceratops coin is the last coin that Draken doesn't have.
Yeah. And
so Trini gives it to not messed up Reality Billy, and she's like, only you can fight Lord Drakon. And Billy's like, you know what? Nah. So he's like, we surrender. I'm like, really? Like,
that's it?
Nah. I'm hoping. Because, like, I'm filming the comic book, and I'm thinking, like, the next panel is going to be Billy going Triceratops and, like, jumping down at the same time. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, we about to get a fight. But then the next page is Billy walking over with his hands in the air going, oh, resurrender. I'm like, if the next comic isn't him morphing, I'm going to rip that shit in half. Because I feel like that's such a betrayal. Like, Billy, although he hasn't always been the most gun-ho, like, I'm going to whoop everybody's ass, like, he has never in any medium again, as far as I know of, has been betrayed as so easily willing to give up or as a character. Whenever Billy was pushed to shove, Billy was like, all right, I got them palms for you. I may not dish them out as efficiently as Jason and Zach, but if you push me to my limit or threaten me or my friends, I'm going to tear that ass up. Mm-hmm. See example, Madam Woe or Eye Guy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and like you said, I'm hoping next issue it's all like Billy's like, surprise, bitches. I'm hoping.
But then again, this is the Boom Studio Power Ranger title, so it might be another time for an example of Tommy taking the coin and Tommy becoming a Blue Ranger to complete his rainbow trifecta there, because he hasn't been a Blue Ranger yet.
Let's see, he's been red, he's been black, it's been white, green. They really want to fuck everybody up. That he'll be a pink and yellow just because.
I mean, why not? I mean, like, oh wait, I have residual morphine from when I charged the power batteries. Now I'm the Combo Ranger. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping it is, but it's just ultimately with this book, I'm just like, and I'll admit as much that when they show the other Rangers as Green Rangers, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of marked out just a little bit. I was like,
oh dude, I was so done. I was about to rip that. I was about to drop out just then. I was like, you know what, I'm out. I was like, no, fuck this. Fuck whoever co-signed on this shit. Fuck whoever thought this up. Fuck who drew this. Fuck who thought this was a good idea. This is bullshit, and this is indicative. This is like a visual representation of what's wrong with the Power Ranger fandom right the fuck here. That's like if you drew the Justice League and they all had fucking Batman heads. That's bullshit. I was so fucking mad.
I mean, I wasn't mad. It was just like, okay, I just hope this isn't a permanent thing, but I get it. Hey, we all love Tommy. Yay.
I was so I wasn't mad. I was fucking furious.
Hey, Fast and Furious. Mad and furious.
Fucking fast and fucking furious. I was pissed. I was like, how dare you? Like, again, I like Tommy and I like Dragon Ranger as much as the next motherfucker, but this is not his motherfucking show.
Jason looking like the Green Ranger made sense.
No.
Not even with the shield. I was like, oh
no. Oh my gosh, no. Oh my gosh. Like, this is not the Tommy show. Like, this is a team book. This is a team book. They all have their own individual identities. Yes, the Green Ranger is cool. No, all the Rangers should not be green. Fuck you.
I really
that's a fucking metaphor. It is a fucking shit metaphor.
I took it. Like, I was reading it, I was like, again, marked out a little bit, but at the same time, I was like, I get what you're doing, book, clearly, because, hey, Tommy, Green Ranger, we got the Green Ranger powers. Okay, but, like, did you have to do it this way? Like, that, it literally looked like they were circle jerking Tommy, like, yes.
Which means, to me, it literally looked like that's exactly what they were doing. This whole fucking series has been a Tommy circle jerk where he's the hero and the antagonist. Like, what the fuck?
Hey, look, I thought, dead serious, I thought Lord Draken was actually Lord Zed.
I was hoping he was going to be an original character. And I was hoping again, like, maybe he's going to be like, oh, he's going to be something that's going to just, like, menacing, building up to, like, as we get to like a, air quote, a grand finale of this season, he's gonna be menacing, sending little threats back and forth. Oh no, that's not what you're doing. You're doing a time travel injustice plot. Oh, okay.
I literally thought Draken was like early Lord Zed before, because remember, Draken got the visor like Lord Zed.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought this was like, oh, this must be early Lord Zed, and then somehow through some fucked up way he turns into the Lord Zed we know.
And they alluded to that in the one shot when it says, I remember in the one shot, I think they said, like, he had just tried to get the Zeo Crystal, and that's what fucked his skin off and burned it away.
That would have been awesome if this was what the setup was. I would have been like, yo, this would actually be pretty good.
But see, here's the thing, CJ. You understand Power Ranger lore, and you actually thought critically about what would serve best the characters, all the characters, and not just one.
Yeah.
That's where you're fucking up. You're thinking about more than one character and actually moving the narrative somewhere forward.
Yeah, I mean, because when they showed the reveal on the throne, my immediately was like, that must be Lord Zed. How did he get the Green Ranger powers? That was my first thought. And I was like, oh, so it's evil Tommy. Alright, cool, yes, I mean, fine.
There is no cool here, only rage.
Again, realize I'm saying cool, I guess. I'm just kind of like, alright, I'm just being kind of just like, shrug, like, okay, that happened, fine, it's... I know, folks, you kind of listen to this and you're like, man, I don't know, I should read it. Read it. I mean, look, some people are going to like it. Me, I'm just on that wrap it up because I felt this didn't need to really be 16 damn issues, personally. It really didn't.
It does, man.
I'm hoping 20 is the sweet spot where it ends. I hope 20 is where it ends, at least.
You know what? I'm looking at the graphic novel, like, how many issues are they fit per trade? Is it 5 or 6?
Usually 6, depending on what book it is. Cause I know
okay, if it's 6, then I can see Boom Studios stretching this shit out to like 30, 32.
Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Just this one story.
20, it has to end. Because after that, I'm like, you know what? Tapping out.
You know what? I'm tapped out. Like, I can't keep giving them my money. Like, if I don't know if I can recommend reading this. Like, I love the way it started off. Like, if you want to read like the first trade, I recommend that because the first trade is like the first couple of issues when the series was good before it became circle jerky to itself.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to stick it out, it's not bad. It's just one of those like
it's questionable.
It's chasing its own tail when it gets down to it.
And it's going to look at this cool thing I'm doing. Isn't it cool? No, not really. Like I wish you could get to your point.
Like issues when they hit the future, right? I would say issues probably like maybe 10, 11, and 12. They could have easily been cut to like maybe one issue, easily.
Yeah, then like I'm questioning some of those detour issues they take, especially like the one where like Rita appeared before Zack and was like, "Hey, you want to be my Green Ranger?"
That was actually.
And I'm like,
you know what?
That's kind of continuity busting and kind of weird, but okay.
Is it continuity busting?
Yeah, kind of a little bit. Because if Zack knew about, hey, Rita has a power coin and she's trying to give me, we should be on the lookout for that shit coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea and concept of like, because I mean, unofficially Zack was like this, second in command of the team and such. Even though the show never really actively put it out there and stuff, he was second in command. I mean, well, we did see a little bit of it in Green with Evil because when they were all four of them were fighting Tommy and stuff, he did kind of take over and stuff, so that makes sense and stuff. But it did kind of play into Zack kind of like, hey, maybe I should be leader. Fuck Jason. And then, he kind of backed off and was like, nah, I don't want to work with you, Rita.
I mean, that's so weird. It's such a strange stylistic choice to make. Like, the last temptation of Zack? Really? That's where we're going? Okay.
Hey, at least she went for the black dude first. I mean, shit.
I mean, once you go Zack, you never go back?
Yeah. You know what's interesting, though, too? Is how Jason is piloting the Dragon Zord in space. And I didn't know the Dragon Zord could fly.
Neither did I, sir. Neither did I.
But I thought it was interesting how they're fighting on the moon. Drake and the Dragon Zord. It was interesting.
Just like the Super Nintendo game. It's pretty dope.
It was dope and stuff. Like I said, good ideas and stuff.
Just really strange execution is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, that's when we get the reveal before Tommy and Billy got sucked into the future, is that Dracon was actually a robot the whole time. He was never like an actual person.
He was a Zord.
He was a Zord. Because they went inside of it and it was like, hold up, this is a Zord? I thought it was an actual monster. And that's when you find out when they got kicked into future, Dracon is basically Tommy with the Green and White Ranger powers. I gotta say, though, it's kind of amazing. One, like I said, again, dope splash page with him on the throne. Dope. Two, kudos to the cosplay community because a lot of people got that costume done pretty quick.
I mean, they get all things done pretty quick, man. Did you see what they respond to, like, the Overwatch costumes and shit?
No, I haven't.
Like, yeah, like, I remember when they first started showing, like, when they were doing character reveals for the game.
Yeah.
Like, within a day or two, there was already chicks on Instagram going, I'm Tracer or I'm Mai. I'm like, damn, really? That quick? Fuck.
Yeah. It's funny, too. It was on Twitter. Boy, William, he was talking about the book and stuff. He, and like I said, he enjoyed Mighty Morphin Pink. He's like me with the ongoing where he's kind of like, yo, this book is spinning its damn wheels. Wrap it up.
Yeah, like I was saying, like I can't support this. Like I'm as long as they're sticking in the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger era, unless you tell me there's something I have to read or there's like a major event that I have to see for myself, like I'm not giving them my money anymore. If it has the MMPR moniker on it, I'm out. I'm done. I don't need it.
It's like, guys, can we go to Zeo, please?
I'm not just that. Like, can we do something else? Like, there's so many things you can do with the license. Like, you can tell you can do a fucking
Power Rangers in space. We can get the great adventures of fucking Silver and the fucking Red Ranger before they make
exactly. Or you can do fucking Gotham Central with fucking SPD. Think about that shit for a minute.
I mean, I'll take a doggy and doggy book, solo book, easily.
Bruh. You can do how the Pai Shui masters learn. There's so much shit you can do. You can actually show how the alien rangers defeated Hydra Hog on their fucking planet.
Yeah,
you can show
that could be the day in the life of, like we said, you can do an anthology series where it's like, hey, we're following the alien rangers in this issue, and then the next issue, actually you can make it like 2 issues where it's just like, hey, we're following the alien rangers for this 2-issue arc. Then the next issue would be like, hey, join us as we're in Time Force and, you know, their whole little whatever mini story that you could tell there and stuff. You can keep doing that.
Or what did Nick, his mom and dad do when they rode out of town at the end of Mystic Force? Like there's so many things you can do and tell with the license, but like that doesn't have the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Thunderbolt on it, so we can't do that shit. Because no one cares about the other shows. No one cares about this franchise overall. It's all about MMPR and Tommy. Shut up.
Yeah. And
give us your money.
Again, we love Jason David Frank. All I'm saying is gotta move past that. And like I said, if the toy line can move past that, yeah, you guys can move past that too. Just saying.
I fear we might not, because we can have a discussion about this, and I think I might save that for Metacast.
Hey,
but like the Power Rangers did not this might sound really weird what I'm about to say, but fucking Power Rangers did not begin, nor does it end with Mighty Morphin fucking Power Rangers.
Oh yeah. I mean, it begins with it, but
it does not. It does not. That shit begins with Go Ranger.
True. But all I'm saying is, it's not the Alpha and Omega. We can move.
It is not. It is not. It is not. It is not. It is not the only flavor of ice cream in the shop, my good sirs and madams.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said again, I know it sounds like we're down. I'm like this. You're Pink. I would say, yeah, read. It's 6 issues. You'll be done with it. Your mileage is going to vary on that. You probably will enjoy it because it is kind of a mini adventure and stuff. The ongoing, I will say, read it, but understand that it does get a little long on tooth at this point.
Nah, homie, I can't co-sign on none of it. Just read the first trade of the ongoing and be out. Just nah, I can't.
I'll do that, but but like I said, I'll do that. But I know Prime says that, and I respect that.
I can't in good conscience recommend these books. I can't because you come back and be like, Prime, you like, look, I can't do this and go to sleep at night telling people to go read those books. I can't. I can't have that weighing on my soul. But I will recommend, like, just read the first trade of them ongoing. If there was something in it that you liked or you thought was interesting, just know that they're not following up on what you thought was interesting, and they're going to do something entirely different.
I will say read that one shot though. The one shot is actually pretty dope. There is some backstories in that, like I said, with Godar and his brother. And things like
the Godar. Yeah, the Jason issue was pretty. The Jason segment was pretty interesting. Because I thought that was a really good exploration of his character and a little bit of his motivations.
Oh yeah.
Damn, what else was in that one shot? Like I said, I try to purge this shit when I'm done reading it.
I get so caught up in it. Like I said, the one thing that just stood out in me was the idea of Godar and his brother. I actually thought that was actually pretty interesting, just because of their dynamics and stuff, and just how, again, his brother just bucked hard at Zed, like, yo, why the fuck do we have to help Rita?
Zed was like, because I said so, biznitch.
And just the idea that Godar took his brother's sword and he just never questioned Zed after that. It's like, wow, Zed killed your brother and you didn't. Okay, all right. Cool.
And then here's another thing, like, speaking of this comic series serving its own continuity, or riding the wave of the show's continuity to get like a rise out of the readership. If we're in season 3 during the Mighty Morphin Pink saga, during the Mighty Morphin Pink solo, right?
Yeah.
Where the fuck is Rito? And why isn't Godar a comic buffoon? Because that's when Godar completely de-evolved as a character and was comic relief.
I was waiting for the Bulk and Skull theme to play while this was happening.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, why is he now for these couple of issues menacing? And where's his butt buddy, Rito Revoto?
Yeah. Like I said again, somebody had actually wrote a good synopsis. I think he DM'd me and he was like, yeah, if I was doing the book, I would have not had been beholden so much to the continuity of the show and just been like, hey, we're going to go this direction with it. But like you said, the thing about the comic is it's doing this thing where it's beholden somewhat to the show, but then it's doing its own thing with this whole future thing with Tommy and Draken, and it's like, all right, let's see how it goes.
It's not going anywhere fun already. I'll tell you that right now.
Issue 20, if it ain't done, I'm tapping out.
I done pulled the cord, son. I'm done.
I am willing to give it a shot because again, I am mildly entertained. I'm just like, yo, wrap this shit up, dog.
I tell you this. I won't pay my money for that shit. Read into that what you will.
Not gonna pay your $2.99 for it.
I'm not gonna pay my $2 or $3.99 for that because I can't in good conscience support this anymore. I can't.
No, I understand. Look, trust me, I understand. Like, I get it. Because it's not like you're saying, man, fuck Boom. It's just like, hey, look, they're just doing some storyline stuff I don't agree with, and nah, it's not for me.
Yeah, it's like I can't keep going on it.
Yeah, like I said,
and, I mean, I'm hoping.
Like I said, I'm sort of recommending it, but at the same time, it's like, hey, your mileage is gonna vary. Read it at your own risk, But at the same time, I agree with what you're saying, where it's like, yeah, I can't in good conscience necessarily recommend it, but hey. Fine.
I mean, if you're curious, again, if you're really curious, just read that first trade, or even better, just read the one shot. If you like what you see or feeling from the one shot of the trade, again, just that might not happen again.
Yeah, like I said, good moments and stuff. Like I said, I got, what's funny too, I actually got a good chunk of the variant covers that I wanted, like the one with them holding their helmets and stuff. That's kind of the ones I wanted anyway. But
and see, that's, oh my gosh, the fucking variant covers. Like, is this 1995? What are you doing? But baby, what are you doing, Boom? What are you doing?
Hey, some variant covers are nice. Others is like, you're doing a little too much there, dog.
I'm like, yo, scale it back. Like,
I mean, the ones with them holding the helmets, I thought those were dope.
I'm not knocking the images. Like, the images they choose for the variant covers, I think they're all pretty cool. Yeah. But just like, especially with the helmets one, like where their Zords are reflected in the visors, that's an excellent idea. But does every single issue need like 20, 25 variant covers? Like,
it's like issue 7 has 15 variant covers. Like, whoa,
like,
back
damn,
up.
Like, whoa, really? For like an image that you can print off for free and just put on your wall if you want the image that fucking bad? Like, come on, man.
I mean, man,
what are you doing? It was like, why? Like, so we're just gonna repeat a practice that damn near crashed the industry back in the 90s? Like, really? Yeah. And we all think that's a good idea? And it's,
yeah, hey, go Power Rangers.
That's just coming out, And
no, I ain't talking about this issue. I'm just saying, hey, go Power Rangers. That's the motto.
Can I get a version of the theme song with like the fucking riff replaced with like the cha-ching of a cash register? Because that's Boom Studios' anthem right now.
Because no, we're complaining about the covers, but it's like these issues are kind of selling like hockey.
Like, have you seen Diamond? Have you seen the fucking numbers? It's like it's making me angry. Like it's
they're selling. It's like, I can't be mad, but at the same time,
why?
It's like, God damn it, man! Because it's like some of these issues, the variant covers went on like fucking second printing, and that's like, yo, you sold a lot when they go on second printing.
Some of them went on third. Like, y'all are making poor decisions. All of you, you're the reason why we're in this situation right now. I blame all of you.
But at the same time, I'm sitting up there holding my Power Ranger toys, like, but because you're supporting the comic, we're getting toys.
And I mean, so that's putting me in a really weird place. It's in a similar place to how I feel about, the Transformer movies. Like, I will shit on those movies 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. However, at the end of the day, those movies, they're giving us toys, and they're giving us video games, and they're giving us comic books. So those movies can do whatever the fuck they want to do, as long as they keep the cash revenue flowing into other avenues of the franchise.
Like, why am I imagining you staring off angrily at Bay in a distance, but you have your shiny new Optimus Prime toy? Like, God damn it, Bay, why? Like, you're angry, but at the same time, you're just like,
yes, do that.
Oh my god.
Like, I'm standing there with the fucking Arthur meme, except for my fist is an Optimus Prime toy going, keep making them damn movies, you bastard.
Damn it. Because Hasbro was like, shit, it made $1 billion again? Fuck. Well, hey, we toys.
We haven't even spent the rest of the money. What can we do now? Well, let's just make couches. You want to make couches out of $100 bills? Brilliant.
We'll also give you another awesome Transformers video game. Because fuck it, why not?
I mean, sure, we'll go. You want to remaster of Fall of Cybertron? You got it.
Hey,
what's that? You want another season of Robots in the Skies? You got it.
I will gladly take another Platinum Games Transformers game. Thank you very much.
I will. And this time, can I have some co-op, please? Thank you very much.
Because that game is hotness. Look, that man, man, look, first off, I am glad that Platinum made the decision to go with the old school designs for that game.
And that aesthetic was so beautiful. And
Dude, the Constructicons transforming the Devastator. I was like, yes.
And that was like the first fucking boss fight. And I'm like,
First stage.
I so enjoyed punching Devastator in the boy pussy. It made me so happy.
Were you using Optimus or were you using Bumblebee?
I think I was using Bumblebee, so it was extra funny.
Yes. I mean, you know what's funny? If we want to talk video games, that Transformers Armada game was dope.
I didn't play the Armada game.
Oh man, you had to face
oh wait, yes I did. My bad. Yeah, that's when you fight Tidal Wave. First you infiltrate the base, and then the base gets pissed off and transforms.
Dog, that I never until War for Cybertron gave us Metroplex. That fucking Tidal Wave fight, I was like, the scale of him was ridiculous.
I don't give a shit what anybody says. The boss fights in that PlayStation 2 Transformer Armada game are some of the best boss fights in any fucking video game I've ever played. The game fucking one of the first boss fights that you end the game on is you're fighting Megatron on top of a fucking active volcano. Shut the fuck up and take my money. Yes. Oh, what? The game's not over yet? You give me a jetpack and I gotta fly into space and fight Unicron? Shut the fuck up and take more of my fucking money.
If you can, hunt down that game. I don't even think it's on PlayStation Network.
That game is so you best damn well believe I still got my copy and I still got a fucking way to play that shit when I feel like it.
Oh yeah. I mean, dude, I remember seeing XPlay do, that's how old this fucking game is. XPlay did a fucking review of it and they praised the game and I was like, I need to go to GameStop and go get that game because that, as soon as they showed the boss battle for fucking Tidal Wave, I was like, I need to buy this now.
And just to give you a sense of it, like how the level set up, like your task was infiltrating a Decepticon warship to get, what was it, plans or locations of a minicon? I forget what the objective was. So you're in there and like you're shooting up the base, right? You're just like you fucking everything that moves up, right?
Yeah. And
like the more damage you do, like the more the base kind of jostles and shakes. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna get to the core and blow the base up. You get to the core, the base like, you know what? I'm tired of this shit.
Transforms and
kicks you out of the fucking base. You land on like these little Canary Islands, and then the fucking warship like stands up and transforms.
That CGI sequence was dope when you see it.
If you can find this shit on YouTube, go watch that shit.
Man.
Now, as a sequitur, the controls take a little bit to get used to because this is before War for Cybertron, so like they hadn't really perfected the whole robot to vehicle kind of movement.
Yeah.
But like once you get used, or once you customize the control setting to fit, your preferred hand preferences.
Yeah.
I think it really serves the combat, especially with the upgrade system with the minicons. And one thing I really liked about the game was like the Transformers felt like they had weight to them. But not like in a bad way where they move and sluggish, but like it's kind of hard to explain. Like you know what I'm trying to say. Like they didn't feel like super robots. They felt like they existed in some realistic examples of gravity. Like they could still jump, but you could feel like the weight of their jump when they fought. The combat was kind of Pacific Rimmy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, when we got War for Cybertron, they showed Metroplex. I was like, yes, yes, game. Thank you very much. This is awesome. I mean, and
now as good as the boss fight is in that game between when you're fighting Tripticon and Omega Supreme,
yeah,
the Tidal Wave boss fight from the Armada game is like still way better.
Oh yeah. I look, I will take a upgraded version of that game with PlayStation 4 graphics.
I will gladly take a fucking remaster of that game. Hasbro, if you're listening, please. Why don't you want my money? What's that? You already have a lot of my money? Why don't you want more of my money?
I'll tell you what, Bandai, you giving us Namco Bandai. I'm looking at both of you. I'm playing Berserk Band of Hawk. And as I'm playing it, again, I've been saying this for a while. Hey, Bandai, how come you haven't done a Power Rangers Dynasty Warrior game?
Well, because we just gave you Mega Battles. Don't you want your arcade beat 'em up? That's quite shit.
Nah, I want a Dynasty Warriors game. I don't care if it's repetitive. I want to play as every iteration of Power Rangers.
Now, I've been saying this a lot. Like, that's essentially...
They gave us Gundam.
Well, and then they also gave us kind of, it wasn't called Dynasty Warriors, but like the Kamen Rider Batwire War games.
Yeah.
I have all of them, and that's essentially what they are. They're Kamen Rider Dynasty Warriors. And I feel like I'm crossing my fingers that they are just perfecting the system in the Bat Ride War series to then transfer over to Super Sentai / Power Rangers.
If they do, that would be dope.
And I mean, if you can get your hands on a Bat Ride War game, I recommend it because they're hella fun.
Yeah, they are.
Because like that's all it is. Like I don't want anything else. Like, do I get to turn into a Kamen Rider and fight a bunch of mooks? I do. That's all I want. like I don't need any story. And like the games have a story, and I'm like, honestly, I don't care. I don't even pay attention. I'm just like, let me turn to Kamen Rider Black RX and let me stab fools with my fucking Robokin. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, I mean that's yeah. Lastly, do you ever? And I don't know. Maybe this is kind of like maybe a Saban thing. Do you ever think they would ever do a Kamen Rider comic book?
No.
Is it even feasible to do one?
As long as the Power Ranger license is at Boom Studios, and as long as it's making money, there always will probably exist that 0.5% chance.
That is true.
But I actually think they would do VR Troopers or Beetleborgs before they do a Mask Rider.
I will take a VR Troopers fucking comic book in a heartbeat.
I will drop cash money on that in a second.
Give me Ryan. Give me the origins of Grimlock. Why did I say Grimlock? Grimlord, and just the adventures of. Actually, the perfect setup would be season 3.
Oh yeah, give us a finale.
Yeah, give us season 3.
How the show have ended. Yeah,
that's I mean, shit. We got Buffy season 8 in comic book form. Why not do VR Trooper season 3?
Shit, I think Angel is up to season 11. In comic book form.
Look, I stopped after the first season in the comic book. I was like, I got too much money to spend on other comics. I'll get back to you.
Yeah, there was like I think a Humble Bundle a while ago, and I bought that. So I've been trying to catch up on some of the shit I missed, and I'm like, man, they went off the deep end.
I can imagine.
They took that concept and they just went all the way.
Yeah. So, anyways, that is Comic Book Corner. Hopefully
Special edition. More from Metacast crossover.
Yes.
Podcast Tyson, baby.
Yes. You know what? That's going to be the name of the episode. Comic Book Corner Tyson.
Here we go.
Yeah, so hopefully next time when we do Comic Book Corner, I'm trying to go for the Black Panther Coates run. Since I think it just, at least this first arc ended finally and stuff, so.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, I think they're on the next arc now with the Black Panther Gods.
Yeah, I read the first issue and I was like, because I know how Marvel operates when they're going to just cancel shit and relaunch shit with number ones again, I said I'm going to just read the trades when they come out.
Oh yeah, they're on issue 13 now with this new arc, so I'm like, oh shit, they actually are continuing this. Because I thought Black Panther and the Crew was going to be like, oh, so they're canceling the Black Panther book, and I'm like, no, they're continuing it. Coates is still writing it, so alright. Cool.
Oh, really? So he's doing both?
Yeah.
Well, go ahead then. That's what's up. That is what's up.
Double duty, man. Well, he's getting help on the Crew from this one woman. God, I'm blanking out on her name. She's helping writing the book, so I guess that works because he's not like it keeps the book from being delayed, basically.
And nothing wrong with that. Everybody needs help.
Oh yeah, so it's like if Coates might be busy, it's like, oh, well, we just get her to kind of fill in the gaps and she can write it too. So and it works and stuff. So hopefully the next one I can get some people on. We can talk about that arc because there's a lot to unpack with that one, and I know some people liked it, and some people were kind of like, I'm not feeling it and stuff, and yeah, we're definitely going to dive into that.
I was feeling that first issue.
Yeah, well, it's just the arc overall and stuff, like from 1 through 12, is like, this isn't the Black Panther that they wanted,
So that's the thing, like, I hear that a lot from people, like, so, and usually it's people who, and I'm going to be honest, and this is just my circle, so I'm not coming at anybody personally. Don't take this shit personal when I say this.
Yeah.
Usually when the people that say, when they say that about this run, and when they say this is not the Black Panther that they wanted, and I ask them, well, what Black Panther have you read beforehand? And they said, well, no, not really. And I said, well, have you seen Black Panther in anything? And it's like, well, no, not necessarily. He popped up in a couple of Avengers books I've read. I'm like, well, what do you want from Black Panther?
Oh, I've seen the opposite, because I know on my TL, it's mainly folks that love Christopher Priest's run.
Oh my gosh, so good.
So I understand it on that angle, but at the same time, it's like, with the way Coates wrote Black Panther, it was, and me and D, and that's why I wanted to see if D can actually read this stuff and get him on, because it felt like Coates' Black Panther was a culmination of just like all the bullshit that Wakanda had to go through, from like Doom War all the way up to Secret Wars and shit. You know, stuff that happened in Infinity and just everything, and that's basically what Coach Run was about. Just Wakanda is just like, yo, like, T'Challa, man, you were supposed to protect us. What the fuck's going on here?
Like, you were the man, homie.
Yeah, so that's.
So let me ask you.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. So let me ask you this: have you been reading Nova?
I am behind.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this unabashedly. Nova has been one of my favorite fucking books out of Marvel from a long time. And I've had such joy reading that book, and I'm highly fucking pissed off that it's been canceled.
Oh, like, so this is the Sam Alexander one, right?
Sam Alexander, Richard Rider, and I'm so pissed off because like the book has been so good from like both standpoints, where they're doing their best to serve both characters, where it isn't like Sam running train on Richard, or Richard's like, well, this is my book now. Like, they're both the co-lead of the book, and they both get really great character beats and character moments, and their interaction with each other is so well written, so strong, and so many wonderful reaction memes you can get out of this book. And Sam, who up until this point I had been really lukewarm to, even in like, you know, Mark Waid's Avengers, and even in Champions, I just like, I don't really give a shit about Sam. In this book, I'm like, I can finally see Sam as an actual fleshed out, realized character, and I can see his hopes, his dreams. I can actually finally see the things that make Sam tick a little better. He has here we go. Here's what I'm looking for. He has a clearer voice now now that he's by himself, and now that he's contrasted against Richard and Richard's struggles and what's going on with Richard right now, since he's come back from the Cancerverse. And I mean, I can't stress how amazing this book is, and so well written, and I'm really mad that not enough people, you know, share that opinion, so it hasn't been getting bought. But if you guys can, please get the trades, because I really enjoy this book. I feel, and I'm really upset because Nova to me has been what Blue Beetle or DC should have been. You know what I'm saying? Have you been reading Blue Beetle at all?
No, D has though.
Again, I hate Blue Beetle. I just kind of feel like they're making like a lot of really strange choices with the relationship between Jaime and Ted.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like the relationship I'm getting over and over with Richard and Sam, it's filling the hole that I'm not getting from Jaime and Ted.
Yeah. I mean, Ted Cord, because I mean, he's revived, right? Is he revived already?
Yeah, he's see, that's the thing. It's really weird. It's really weird going on right now with Rebirth.
I mean, I knew they were doing that, but I didn't know Ted Cord got revived. Wow. Huh.
And I don't even think it's a revival. Like, I don't think he has died yet because of the timeline muckabouts. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Yeah.
So, but then again, I'm not gonna hark on that too harshly, because they are addressing that right now over in Batman and the Flash with their crossover with the Button. Which, by the way, those two issues, I think, Batman and the Flash those have been really good too. Like, the splash page with Professor Zoom punching the shit out of Batman. Can I get that on my wall? Can I get that, like, blown up?
I am interested in reading that book, because it's like, yo, that's the Watchmen, and
I mean, so it's like, and for someone who's like deep into DC lore, like the issue of the Flash they just did, they showed like the Justice League Watchtower trophy room, where they store shit, and we talk about Easter eggs in the fucking Boom Studio Power Rangers. Nah, bro, they just dropped the mother load of like, hey, look, here's the Roller Dog from Grant Morrison's Justice League run. Hey, look, here's Martian Manhunter's old shoulder clip press. Hey, look, here's the Cosmic Treadmill over in this corner over here. Hey, look, there's a Rocket Red armor. Like, so many fucking Easter eggs in these like 2 or 3 pages. This brought a single tear to my eye as someone who's into DC lore.
Yeah, man, this is definitely a good time. Like I said, I think this was perfect for me to bring back Comic Book Corner again and stuff, and stay consistent. So hopefully I can do this and stuff, and actually talk about books that we're reading for the month and all this and stuff. So definitely.
I'm honored that you asked me to be on in your first attempt to revival, and I hope to be back again to talk about the funny books.
Oh yeah, definitely, because I managed to finally snag Rock of Ages per your request, and I
And
need to actually read it.
I'm gonna say, if I were here, have you looked at it at all?
Not yet.
Okay, so
I saw your story though, which is hilarious, and I'm like, ooh, now I have to actually read Rock of Ages now since he said this.
Yes, Rock of Ages is if you haven't read, first of all, if you haven't read any of Grant Morrison's Justice League run, baby, what is you doing? Like, and I say this with like no irony in my voice at all. Like, when I first read that shit in middle school, it completely changed how I looked and approached comic books. Mm-hmm. That shit is so good.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is it. And with that, if you got any questions related to these Boom comics, you can hit up me and Prime. You know, despite us being kind of, you know, meh about it and stuff, we're not gonna judge you and stuff. Like I said, as Prime said, I'm nice about it because I'm just like, I'm the internal optimist, so I'm like, give it a shot. Let's see what happens, you know.
I'm surprised I stuck with it this long because I've only stuck with it this long out of brand loyalty, but brand loyalty can only get you so far. When I'm like, you know what, I can't. There's so many other books out here that I have to support and read too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't like the direction that you're going in, I'm sorry, but I got to vote with my wallet now, man. I can't.
Yeah, that makes sense. So with that,
but if you have any questions or comments, you know, you can hit us up. And if there are things that you like about the comic book, then by all means, you can share with me with the things that you do like about them. Oh, yeah. I would love to see what other people think about the book.
Yeah, like I said, I'm always curious about what caught people's eyes. And so, 'cause like I said, you know, as much as I might be like, oh, fan service, I was kind of like, you know, that splash panel was pretty dope. It was nice, you know. All right, cool.
I mean, it made me raise my eyebrow, but again, I was like, you didn't earn this though. Yeah, that's so unearned.
Yeah. So, with that said, we will catch you guys later. Peace out.
And if it is in.
Metro Boomin' want some more, nigga.